Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch. The morning sun broke over the high desert, burning through the thin veil of mist that still clung to the jagged edges of Blind Frog Ranch. The ground, cracked and ancient, hummed with secrets long buried beneath centuries of silence. In the shadow of a sandstone ridge, two figures crouched over a newly uncovered formation. Dust swirled around them as the smaller of the two scraped away sediment from the base of a jagged boulder. The other held a scanning device, its blinking green light casting eerie glows across the rock face. The ground had shifted during a recent flash flood, revealing an exposed seam of stone that looked unlike the surrounding geology. It was darker, heavier, and embedded with small, metallic glints that caught the sun's reflection like distant stars. A soft buzz from the scanner. Then a spike. The taller figure stopped, adjusted the settings, and scanned again. The signal was stronger this time. Beneath the rock, something was embedded. Something dense, metallic, and unnatural. They worked in silence, chipping away with handheld tools, brushing the loosened sediment carefully. Hours passed, the sun climbing to its zenith and then dipping westward. As twilight approached, the edge of the object finally came into view, a smooth, cylindrical surface, incongruous with the jagged chaos of the surrounding rock. It was no fossil, no vein of ore. This was manufactured. By the third day, the excavation revealed two full cylinders, each approximately 18 inches long and 4 inches in diameter, set at perfect parallel inside the rock. Their surface bore intricate etchings, tiny geometric patterns resembling Aztec iconography. A closer look showed an uncanny precision, too uniform for primitive tools. Back at base camp, the cylinders were cleaned under floodlights. Their true color revealed itself, dark silver, nearly black, with an iridescent sheen that shifted in hue under different angles. A handheld spectrometer registered an anomalous composition, unknown alloy, non-ferrous, laced with trace elements not commonly found on Earth. The team gathered around a flat worktable. No one spoke. A silent consensus passed among them. This was not just a historical anomaly. It was something impossible. Blind Frog Ranch had long been the subject of strange tales, disappearing cattle, underground lakes, electromagnetic disturbances, even whispers of treasure linked to the Aztecs. But this find changed everything. These cylinders weren't treasure. They were technology, ancient, alien, perhaps, or worse, forgotten human ingenuity far beyond its time. A radiometric test on the surrounding rock returned a staggering result. The formation dated to over 800 years ago, consistent with late Aztec expansion periods. Yet the metal was sealed within it, with no signs of intrusion. The rock had formed around the cylinders, as if they had been placed there before the stone existed. In the following days, the team expanded the dig site. More formations were uncovered, some with strange magnetic interference. Buried deeper, beneath 6 feet of compacted clay, they found a narrow vertical shaft lined with scorched rock, possibly a ventilation tunnel or exhaust port. Its direction angled sharply downward into the earth, leading toward a cavity revealed only by ground-penetrating radar. On the 5th day, they lowered a drone into the shaft. Its camera captured flashes of reflections, movements in the shadows. The air below was unnaturally still. The chamber it entered was carved into symmetrical panels, its walls lined with fused mineral glass, formed only under immense heat or advanced laser cutting. In the center of the chamber, a pedestal of black stone. Resting atop it, a third cylinder. Larger, more complex. Unlike the first two, this one had seams and what appeared to be a hatch or sliding mechanism. It pulsed faintly, emitting a low hum, as if resonating with some hidden frequency. The drone's equipment began to malfunction. Compasses spun wildly, signal feeds cut in, and out they retrieved the drone manually. Upon analyzing the footage, one frame, barely a second long, captured a moment of flickering light. A flash of glyphs projected into the air above the cylinder. The symbols matched no known Aztec script, but among them was a repeated pattern, 2 concentric circles joined by a diagonal, and elsewhere in the region, legends told of a stone heart that sings, an artifact hidden beneath sacred ground, said to contain the voices of the gods. Tribal elders avoided the ridge, calling it the place where the earth remembers. Now, the team believed they had found what those stories alluded to. Weeks passed in secrecy. The cylinders were moved to a secure underground lab for further study. Metallurgists and engineers joined the project. Tests confirmed the material was harder than tungsten, resistant to acid, unmarked by diamond-tipped drills. X-ray scanned internal mechanisms, a suspended core surrounded by coiled filaments and crystalline structures. One physicist compared it to a quantum battery, though how it was charged, or what it powered, remained unknown. Then came the anomaly. At precisely 3:33 a.m., the lab's environmental sensors triggered. Motion detectors inside the secured vault activated. Surveillance footage showed nothing, only a distortion, an optical warping in the center of the room, followed by a soft thrum that shook the walls. When the team arrived, the larger cylinder was open. The hatch had retracted, revealing a hollow core lined with etched channels filled with glowing liquid. The temperature in the room had dropped by 12 degrees, and the air smelled faintly of ozone. Inside the core was a thin, circular disc no larger than a coin. It was covered in the same untranslatable glyphs, but this time, the surface was warm to the touch, vibrating with faint energy. Later that day, the lead archaeologist found a correlation between the glyphs and the 260-day Aztec Tonopah calendar. When overlaid, the markings lined up with the dates of major solar eclipses, past and future, including one just weeks away. The theory emerged. The device was some form of celestial marker, perhaps a beacon, or a clock. But to what purposes some believed it was a message. Others, a warning. The site was sealed. The cylinders locked in cryo storage. A government representative visited the ranch days later. No explanation, just a request for silence and compliance. The team was disbanded. But the land remembers. Locals still report odd lights above the ridge. Static disrupts radios. Animals won't cross certain parts of the property. In the weeks after the eclipse, seismic monitors detected tremors deep underground, originating from the chamber beneath the rock. At Blind Frog Ranch, a group of treasure hunters moved with focused intensity. Decades of rumors, old legends, and strange magnetic readings had finally converged on a single promising location, a sheer slope of reddish-brown rock recently exposed by a flash flood. The formation was different from the surrounding landscape, darker and smoother, like a scar in the Earth's memory. Beneath layers of silt and compacted clay, the crew unearthed something extraordinary. Set into the rock, seemingly fused within it, were 2 gleaming metallic shapes. Cylindrical, unmarked, smooth. The surrounding stone bore no signs of tampering. No cracks, no seams. Just the impression that time had wrapped around the objects naturally. As they worked carefully, dust filled the air in pale clouds. The cylinders were about 18 inches long, 4 inches wide, and cold to the touch. Even under the sun, their temperature remained constant. Nearby, ground-penetrating radar revealed a series of anomalies stretching beneath the surface, like veins of something unnatural threading through the earth. The team, transported the artifacts to a temporary lab set up in an old barn on the ranch. There, the true mystery deepened. Under ultraviolet light, the cylinders revealed patterns, etched markings invisible to the naked eye. Spirals, glyphs, and lines intersected in an elegant, geometric language. A pattern began to emerge that mirrored known Aztec motifs, yet it was far more advanced in precision and symmetry. Radiometric dating of the surrounding rock placed its formation in the 13th century, concurrent with the post-classical Aztec period. But the metal? Completely anomalous. Tests showed it was composed of an alloy unknown to modern science. It bore no signs of corrosion, no tool marks, no seams or welds. The cylinders weren't buried. They had been entombed, preserved in geological time. It was as if the earth itself had grown around the digging resumed at the site. Underneath the original find, the team discovered a second chamber, shielded by a layer of black volcanic glass. The entrance was narrow, sloped, and shaped unnaturally smooth. Sensors dropped into the passageway detected radiation spikes and a humming magnetic field, pulsing every 33 seconds. Inside, a buried chamber opened like the hollow of a fossilized shell. The walls glowed faintly with bioluminescent mineral deposits. The floor, lined with flattened stone tiles, led toward a dais where a third cylinder stood upright on a black pedestal. This one, unlike the others, bore 3 symmetrical slits running down its side. The object emitted a low, steady resonance that made the walls shiver gently, like the echo of a tuning fork. Cameras captured the find. Drones explored further. A spiral-shaped tunnel extended beyond the chamber, bored cleanly into the stone, too symmetrical to be natural, too ancient for modern machinery. Every few feet, small metallic fragments were embedded in the walls. None matched known mineral deposits in the region.